Hello, First Gens. Are we ready to talk about investing? If you are new here, I'm Danielle. I talk about money, lifestyle, relationships, mental health, and really everything nobody wants to talk about except me. Today, we're going to continue the series of how you should do X, Y, and Z in 2023. And today specifically, we're going to be talking about why you need to get started in investing in 2023, even if you don't know exactly everything there is to know. Because if I'm being honest, when I first started investing, and even now, I don't know everything there is to know. I am still learning. We should not let that stop us from actually getting started. This fear of investing, it doesn't need to be here. We need to know the basics and we need to just move on from that. A lot of people procrastinate and don't start investing until they know everything there is to know. And what that does is just waste time that you could have been in the market. Before we get started, I wanted to quickly just mention that investing is the only way to build wealth. We talk about saving too, but saving money isn't what's going to actually build you generational wealth and wealth that can help you retire early one day. That's kind of why this isn't a why you should save in 2023 video. Of course, that's also important, but once you've saved what you need to save, you need to move on to that next level, which is investing. And so moving into now why you need to start investing today, even if you don't know everything there is to know. Number one is time. Time in the market, time on your side. Time is one of the biggest factors that we have as our advantage when we're investing, especially if we have decades to stay in the market. The sooner you start investing, the more time you have to keep your money in the market. So basically what I'm trying to say is if you have decades, and even if you don't have decades, but even if you have decades ahead of you, you have like the ability to be living through a recession 5 times over and be okay because you still have decades left to go. So right now, with the market being down, and even in 2020 when it dropped significantly, I wasn't stressing because I know I still have 30 something years before I need that money. And so time is on your side. And that's something that goes hand in hand with the next one we're going to talk about, but it's important that you recognize that the earlier you start, the more time you have to let your money grow. So why time is so important is because of these 2 words: compound interest. Similar to how it works with credit cards, they continue to make and charge us more money, and somehow we're like, $200 became $400. How? Compound interest also works in our favor when we're investing. Let's say you have $1,000 to invest in 2023. If you earn 10% on this $1,000 in this year and you don't invest any other money, you just put in 1,000, end of the year, it was a 10% return. You're entering 2024 with an extra $100 simply because you got 10% return on the money that you invested without you doing anything else. And so let's just say the cycle continues, right? Your money, if you never contribute another dollar, is still growing because of compound interest. Your money makes money, and then you make money on the money that your money makes. So it's just continuing to grow and grow on the initial investment plus the return plus just continues. And so that's why it's important to get started, but also continue contributing. Because yeah, you could just leave the $1,000 in there, but it grows faster if you continue to add contributions. And so compounding interest is your money making money for you. All right, third reason why you need to start investing now is when you invest, you are essentially taking back control of your life. Maybe not right now. Maybe right now you're putting in your extra money to invest. But in the future, investing, like I said, is how we grow wealth. And if we start early, we have more of that flexibility in the future to be like, I have what I need to be okay retiring. I'm gonna leave work early, basically retire early. I'm gonna retire early and explore entrepreneurship or whatever it is that you want. It gives you choices. Money gives you choices. It gives you choices to leave jobs that aren't fulfilling. It gives you the choice to move if you want to. You have that opportunity when you start investing early. Investing right now might take our extra funds to do, but it is giving us the opportunity in the future to be more flexible with the things we want to do in life. Another thing I will say about time and this control of our future is that right now, my specific example is I am engaged. I don't have kids. I don't have a house. I have very minimal responsibilities when compared to other people who might have a house, have kids, all of that stuff. And so right now because I have a good paying job, the opportunity to invest at a higher rate. And I don't know what that's gonna look like in 5 years from now. And so me putting the money aside today could actually be helping me 5 years from now lower my contribution amounts, so it doesn't feel like I need to catch up to something when I have more financial responsibilities. If you have that, start investing it, because we don't know what our life is going to look like later on. This next one is starting investing now, because maybe the market is going through a sale. We don't like to time the market here. We don't. I have no idea how to time the market. I bought Peloton at $50 in 2020, and then I bought Peloton again at like $100 and something in 2021. Clearly, I do not time the market, and I don't do it right even if I try. What we know is that there's been drops. We've been seeing a dip I've been seeing a dip in my investment portfolio. We see that things are going down. And a lot of people are using that as an opportunity to be like, you see, this is why investing is bad. This is why you shouldn't invest. But if you look at the historical data, the trend always goes up. It always goes up. So what we can assume right now is happening is that things are on sale, and we should be buying on sale before prices go up again. Because inevitably, don't know when, don't know how much up, but it will trend upwards. I pulled up the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and Dow Jones, which are the top three most followed indices. I don't know how to say index plurally, but okay. So I'm looking at the S&P 500 right now. Let's see. We're looking at let's look at the max. This is historical. If we're looking historically and we're just looking broadly, not singling anything out, doesn't this trend just seem like it's been growing? And now, okay, yeah, so this dip right here was COVID-19. And you know what? Everybody said, get your money out of the market. It's bad, but look what happened. We recovered, we continued going up. And so that's just the S&P 500. Also here you can see again, the financial crisis of 2018, that had a dip. And then this, I assume, is like the tech bubble burst or whatever of the early 2000s. So that is the S&P 500. Now let's go to the NASDAQ. This is again one day. Let's look at the max. Same trends here. Dip, specifically in March of 2020, but it continued to go up. I mean, right now it's low. We can assume that it'll trend upwards just by the historical data. Dow Jones, let's see. Again, max. Trending upward. Big dip in March of 2020. March 20 of 2020. And then it just continued growing. That's what I mean when we say investing is on sale right now because prices are lower than maybe they were 5 months ago. I don't know. But the trend is that it goes upward. And so if we know this, then doesn't it make sense to buy it now and just hold? Because what we've seen historically. So always take a look at the historical data for these different indices. I don't know what the plural of index is. That was a quick, here's how it looked historically. The last reason why you should start investing in 2023 is investing isn't as hard as it once was. So my mom used to care for a senior woman, and this woman had a financial advisor at like Morgan Stanley or something. And they would invest this woman's money, whatever. And my mom came home one day and she was like, Danielle, I have a business card for this woman's financial advisor. Why don't you give him a call and see if they can invest your money so you can become a millionaire? And I was like, Mommy, I'm already invested, 1. 2, I don't need to call some financial advisor to buy me my investments. I literally can open an account online, and let me open one for you. So it has never been easier to start investing. In the past, you had to have a relationship with a financial advisor or somebody who would be able to manage your investments for you. Now it takes just a few clicks to open up an investment account. Now is the time. Now is the time to start investing. There are no excuses unless it is you just don't have the extra funds. But even then, like if you can get started with as little as like $20, $100. You don't need to have these like massive minimum as an entry point to get started. Now I'm gonna shift again to sharing my screen because I wanna show you a example of Danielle versus Monica. Okay, this is just a calculator I found online, but for context on what I'm gonna do here, let's just say Danielle started investing at 25 and Monica started investing at 35. They both invest for 10 years and take that money out at 60. So they both invest for 10 years, take out the money at 60. Let's just assume they're the same age. They just started investing at different ages. Okay, so let's start with Danielle. Danielle starts with 0 and she contributes $500 on a monthly basis for the next 10 years. So she starts at 0, contributes 500. By the end of those 10 years, there is 81,000 in this account. And let's do Monica. Monica also invests for 10 years, $500 each month. Monica also starts or ends at 81,000. Now, Danielle, let's go back to her. So now her starting amount is 81,000 and change. She stops at 35 and she's taking this money out at 60. That is 25 years and does not do any more contributions. By the end of those 25 years, she has around $350 in this account. Now let's talk about Monica. Monica also needs that money at 60. So she starts with the 81. And that is 15 years for Monica, 0 contributions. Monica, by the end of those 15 years, has less than 200K. That's the difference between starting sooner versus starting later. Like Monica started 10 years later, and therefore, in order to be able to have that same end balance that Danielle has, she needs to stay invested or continue to add money. I wanted to kind of show you that. I'm going to link this calculator in the description, but it's important to realize what we mean by having the time be on your side. You just have more time to let your money grow without having to like continue. So Monica would have to continue to add contributions that Danielle wouldn't have because she started 10 years earlier. So that's kind of a visualization that I wanted to share. Before you start investing, because I know you're all very excited after hearing why you need to get started investing, before you start, it is important to understand a few things. One, find out if your company offers one, a 401k, or two, a 401k match. It's part of your compensation package, so it is not free, it is part of your compensation, but it is a benefit nonetheless that your company is offering. And yeah, let's take advantage of that. So understand what your 401k match is, if you have one, if you even have access to a 401k or a 403b, depending on the type of company you work for. Second thing you want to do before you start investing is to review your debt. We've talked about this in our last video, how to pay off your debt in 2023, but this is really important because the compound interest piece. So if your debt is more than what you can expect to make in return in the market, then prioritize paying that off. So let's say we can expect a return of 8%. If you have debt that is higher than 8%, most importantly, the credit card debt that's probably 15 to 19%, like prioritize paying that off because you are paying more by holding on to this debt than you would be getting in return on the market. Prioritize that high interest debt. Number three, check that emergency fund. I've been talking about emergency funds for a while now, and that goes from everything from, paying off debt to saving for trips. Like, make sure that your bottom line is taken care of. First and foremost, you don't want to throw every extra money that you have into an investment account that you can't access if an emergency arises. So make sure you have the baseline you need to satisfy anything that might come up with you. And lastly, the most obvious is figure out how much you have to invest. How much extra do you have a month to put towards your investment account? You need money to start investing. How much do you have? Are there things that you can do to give you more of those funds to invest instead of, doing whatever else you're doing with the funds? And now we are to the point where it's like, I'm ready to invest. How do I get started? Well, I'm going to tell you how I got started. I started investing in 2017, 2016, I'm not even sure when, but I started with a robo-advisor. I started with a robo-advisor because I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I can't just open a brokerage account and pick out my investment options myself. I'm just not ready for it yet. And so I went the robo-advisor route for a year and a half, and that helped me procrastinate, but not fully procrastinate where I wasn't investing. Maybe if you are interested in learning more about investing and managing your investments, you'll get to that point where you can switch over from a robo-advisor to a Vanguard or Fidelity, and that's possible. Don't just not start because you don't know how to pick your investments. There are different robo-advisors that'll ask you several questions, and based on your responses and what that money is for, will invest your money. So start the way that I did, and then when you're ready, you switch over to somewhere where you have more ability to manage your investments. And there you have it. That is why you should start investing in 2023. Let's build wealth. Let's build wealth. And we do this by investing and not saving. Let me know if you want more videos like this in the comments, and I will see you next week.